As a chef, quite often people ask me, which kind of salt do I use? Well, that depends very much on what I'm doing with the salt. Choosing salt is very easy once you understand what's in the box. If you go to the supermarket, you'll find 3 basic kinds of salt available there. The first, of course, is table salt. It's the cheapest kind, and I want to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. If you can see that, you'll see that the grains of the salt here are very fine. Table salt comes from a salt mine, and it's pure sodium chloride. It has an anti-caking agent added to it so that it will pour easily from the salt box. It also has iodine added for those people who need additional iodine in their diet. The other kind of salt that you'll find in the supermarket is kosher salt. Kosher salt has a much larger crystal, and if you look at those crystals, you'll see that they're very irregularly shaped. Kosher salt comes from the same salt mine as table salt, but the crystals are slightly larger. They're not ground quite as finely, but they are run through rollers so that the crystals have been crushed, which creates the irregular shape. The crushing of the crystals allows them to dissolve on the surface of meats for the koshering process. Kosher salt weighs about half as much as table salt volume per volume, so it's not a good idea to substitute kosher salt for table salt or vice versa unless you're using weights instead of volume measures. The third kind of salt that you're going to find in the marketplace is sea salt. Sea salt comes in many different forms. This one here is fine sea salt, and it comes from the sea. It's made from evaporated seawater. And so when the seawater is evaporated, all the minerals that were in the sea in that particular region are also in the salt, which gives sea salt a much more well-rounded flavor and adds a lot of subtle nuance to the food. You can find sea salt from Hawaii that comes in orange crystals because there were other minerals in the ocean there, or black sea salt, or you can get gray sea salt, which comes from the west coast of France. All these salts have wonderful, delicious flavor, and the place to use sea salt is at the end if you want to sprinkle a bit of salt on your salad, on your finished cooked vegetables, or on your finished steak. Table salt is the salt of choice for baking because its fine crystals dissolve very easily in low amounts of liquid. And I use kosher salt for most of my regular cooking because it's got a very nice flavor to it and it dissolves quickly. We all know how salt flavors our food, but it also plays an important role in the cooking process. We use it to develop flavors, for example, when we brine chicken breasts or pork chops, or in making pickles. If you add a tiny pinch of salt to your vanilla frosting next time you make it, you'll notice a dramatic difference because salt tends to increase the vanilla flavor. We use salt in baking bread. It helps to develop the gluten in the flours when you're making the dough, and later on it inhibits the yeast growth so that your bread molds much less quickly. And remember, next time you add salt to your cooking water for making pasta or cooking vegetables, don't add the salt until the water comes to a boil. That way it dissolves very quickly. If the salt falls to the bottom of your pan, it can make irreparable pits and ruin your pan. So next time you go to the market, you'll know what kind of salt to buy and how to use it. Enjoy!